Alright, this is Ideas, and I'm back with just another video of me trying to talk to a camera. Um, Today I'm going to talk about the obstacles in life. This can be the failures, the punches, anything you perceive as negative is basically what I want to talk about for a bit and give my perspective on it, because I've been seeing it through a more like a brighter take lately. I'm kind of starting to see these obstacles as lessons, and I'm starting to get aware of this even sooner. Even as soon as the obstacle is hitting me or whatever's happening, I roll with the punches, like in the moment. And it's always, it can be easy, like I can't really call it easy, but it's always been possible to look back on your life and maybe think of what you should have done, or maybe you look back and see something bad happened as a blessing. It's like, oh, well, that ended up, taking me on this path, and now I'm here and I'm grateful for this bad experience. But in the moment, it can be pretty tough to know that this can be a good thing, to receive it as a blessing. To be aware in the moment takes a lot of mental strength that you can get to just through mindfulness. So to be aware in the moment while you're going through some kind of pain or failure or discomfort, anything negative in life, to be aware in the moment is a very powerful thing. Not a lot of people can do this. It will give you a huge advantage over just life, everything in life, people, yourself. Just taking control as soon as you get hit with this uncomfortable experience, scary, painful experience, sad, whatever. To be able to look past your own emotions and your own identity, and it's literally about zooming out. You leave, and this is going to sound super spiritual, but like, you take it literal too. Leave your head, leave your mind, separate from yourself, because through this perspective of the individual is extremely biased. It's clouded by emotions that you're having based on how you feel, based on what you experience, based on what you're attached to. It could be anything. So my advice for that is to zoom out and then see it through an unbiased perspective of an observer. How would this person see this? Like, how would, like my parents see this, or my friends, family, things like that. If you're religious, how would God see this? If you're not religious, how would a God see this? It's the most unbiased, because a God is not a human with emotions, and it would know what is best. So you have to zoom out from this and see your life as a sort of story, with a start and a finish line, and realize you're at no point in time. You're not on a timeline, even though this experience is happening here. You have to zoom out and just imagine how quickly you'll be over this too. Like, not to dwell on it so much in the moment. And it's hard, because when it's a fresh experience, it will be fresh in the mind. These emotions will still be there, and you haven't quite gotten over it. And that's okay. Time will come with that. But it's just best to be aware. Your feelings are valid, and the experience you're going through is valid, but to be aware in the moment that you have a long life ahead of you, and what you're experiencing now is a sort of lesson to prepare you for the next thing, for the next punch even. And once you get good at this, once you become used to rolling with these punches of life and obstacles, and just like treating it like an obstacle course, the whole point of it is to get over them. Once you become aware, you'll start to just manifest these punches and welcome them. And this is a good thing, to get out of that discomfort. You'll start to welcome something bad, something new, scary, uncomfortable, just so you can learn, because you're ready to grow, and you will only really grow from bad experiences. You don't grow as much from a good experience as you do a bad experience. But zooming out from this experience and zooming out from your own eyes, your own mind, it can allow you to appreciate the absurdity of life. Because you can be like, damn, this is crazy that this is happening to me. Like, this isn't even real. Like, sometimes the shit happening to you is unbelievably funny or absurd or just crazy. Like, who would have even guessed that this would happen? Like, it's straight out of a movie scene. And that's a lot of things happening in my life right now. Good and bad are just insane to me. And it's only because I can detach from myself. I wouldn't really be able to see it through this positive perspective if it's just through my own eyes, because it will be clouded by my judgment and my feelings, and it's a very biased perspective through your own eyes. And look for lessons within these punches and obstacles in your life as you're going through it. Ask yourself, what is the lesson here and what can I gain from it? And it's that. It's the blessing of a tragedy, and it's what you can gain and learn from it. And that's a really good thing when you can be on top of it and be ready to learn. And it can definitely be a challenge to be aware of it and to get past these emotions of yours, because you have every reason to be feeling how you're feeling. But the sooner you can get out of the state of grief and into the observing perspective, that's when the advantage hits. That's when you have the advantage of life and you're prepared to get through it. And you can be ready for the next thing right after that. Like you get stronger from just sitting in pain, embracing your suffering, and just be present while you're suffering, and ask yourself how it feels, and ask yourself what it's doing to you, and ask yourself why is this happening? Did I cause this, or is life just giving it to me? And all this can be harder when what's happening was caused by you, but this is an even bigger lesson, because you need to make mistakes yourself. A lot of these punches or self punches, you know what I mean? Like you have to get yourself into these situations if it's not happening by life, and you have to make mistakes, and your mistakes are what you learn from the most with everything. I think we can all agree that every skill you ever do, everything you try to learn, you only learn from fucking up a million times, and it's your fault that you fucked up in a way. Like the responsibility is placed upon you to mess up, to have an open mind, and to just shrug it off and move on and do it again a million times and fail and fail and fail and mess up. And that repeating pattern is actually the process of learning and growing. That's not just part of it, it is it. It's failing. I find I learn more from failing than succeeding. Yes, when you succeed, you can be like, well, I did it that time last time, so I can do that again. And that becomes a safe bet. And that becomes comfortable, and that's when you stop growing. You can stay good by learning, not even learning, but once you've figured it out, you can stay the same. And once you're happy with here, you can stay the same. Or you can keep failing and growing. You only learn when you fail. That's the only way you can grow. And that brings me to discomfort. If you've gone long enough without anything going wrong, without anything scary or challenging or hard or painful or sad, without any of that happening, you have to wish it upon yourself. And that is a very hard thing to do. So from my own experience, I was in a long state of comfort, and I didn't grow at all. I didn't do anything new. I didn't really learn. I just stayed the same. And it took me somehow being aware of this state I was in of comfort. And I remember I may have even wrote this down, or I was saying it a lot. I was saying, I want to be uncomfortable. I was inviting something to happen because life was just so flat and uninteresting. And I see life through a very romantic perspective. It's the hearts up here. Not romantic as in, love, but just dramatic, I guess. Just like poetic. So I appreciate the beauty of life and just, carpe diem, seizing the day. And I wasn't doing that, but it was within me to seek adventure. And the only way I could seek adventure was to be uncomfortable. So I remember telling myself or telling the world that I wanted to be uncomfortable. And I was saying that for weeks, and I didn't really have any expectations. And then it happened. Shit came crashing down, punch after punch after punch. It was insane. It was too much, but I knew. And because I manifested it, and because I was ready, I welcomed these punches. And because of that, I was immediately ready to roll. I was rolling with these punches, and I still am. I'm still in it. This was only a few months ago, and I've never been more fulfilled and happy in my life, ever. I've never been more at peace, more at ease with myself and the world, and in harmony with nature. It's beautiful. Yeah, I've never been more at ease, and that's because I have these bad moments, these mistakes, these moments of suffering to compare to these moments of tranquility and peace. And that's what it is. When you're consistently comfortable, you will never appreciate that comfort because that's all you know. You're basically living within a matrix, like a cave, like a Plato's cave type scenario when you're in comfort, because you're not really outside of any box. All you know is comfort, so you don't even know whether that's good or bad. It just is, and that's what I mean by it's a very numbing state, being comfortable. Nothing's bad enough to change, and you can convince yourself that you're doing all right and that you're okay with this, but that's literally it. You're just okay. And never settle for good enough. You have so much power within you as a person. Like, your unique, authentic self is capable of achieving greatness. Each and every one of you has this fire within you. And it may seem like others have it more, but we all have equal potential, and we just have to harness that from within. And it is something within. And it's within the realist self that these powers come out. So it's a journey for sure. And it's just that. It's comfort that's killing your reward system, like the dopamine within your brain. Because when you're happy with where you are, or I shouldn't say happy, I should say when you're fine with where you are, there's not much drive or motivation to change. And I see this in a lot of people. Very common thing to see in just the average person who was young and found something early on that was okay enough, and they stayed in that because it was safe, and they knew life would not get harder if they just stayed on this line. So they just coast. They coast throughout life. They're not up here, they're not too happy with life, but they're not upset with it either. And there's little moments of appreciation or whatever, but it stays like this. And I think this is a whole lot worse than this. You want to be in waves, and it's part of the synchronicity is waves. Everything is this pattern. I'm not sure if that's going to make sense. And I think that's its own video. I'll make a video on synchronicity because that's been on my mind a lot lately too. But you want to be, this is a crazy metaphor, but within the wave, it's up, down, good, evil, yin, yang, light, dark. It's just, you need this to go up, and it's such a perfect momentum. And there's a reason why everything is a vibration. It's literally a metaphor within life. It's a frequency that we're all perceiving.